Here's a brief but annoying message to let you know that you could have first heard this episode 9 months ago if you were a subscriber to our Iron Filing Society Patreon offering.
For the price of a pint and a St Clement's each month, you can get up to 4 episodes a week, 9 months before the rest of the world gets them. Early access to regular episodes, lots of other marvellous benefits, and there's absolutely no adverts or brief but annoying messages like this that will get right on your ticks.
Find out more and subscribe now at tftimemachine.com/ironfilings.
Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go, this is it!
This is Top Flight Time Machine. I am Andy Hotbody Dawson. Pow, pow, pow.
I am Sam Nifty Delaney. So what?
Welcome along. It's another Life Logistics episode. We haven't done one of these in quite a while. So there's a little bit of a backup build-up of logistical problems that you've sent us, which we'll try and get through all of them. We might probably just get through one, to be honest. But first of all, Sam, developments in the world of logistics, life logistics, have just come through on Twitter about 30 minutes before we started recording this. And it's a tweet from someone called Michael Stoddard. And he's just tweeted, "My grandfather turned 100 years old the other week. He got a congratulatory letter from the king. And this was his advice on living..." Oh, it's not from the king. This is from his granddad.
His granddad did it. It's still worth looking at anyway, though, mate.
Oh, man, I thought this was from the
Joe.
king. Oh, I'm a bit gutted about this. I've read this wrong. And I've pitched it up. I thought this was going to be the advice the king's given him. This is the advice from the 100-year-old man about how to live for a century.
Yeah, because I was going to say it'd be a bit rich if the king... How old's the king? About 75 or something, is he? 70? I don't know.
Something like that.
Right. It'd be a bit rich if he's fucking sending a thing to a 100-year-old going, "Here's a few tips on how to live even longer." It's like, he's the cunt that's 100, mate.
Yeah, but it would also be completely in character for the fucker.
Yeah, it would, yeah. This cunt's got an opinion on anything. Do you remember when he rocked up at the TV Awards going on about Emmerdale? Do you remember?
Yeah.
That was his first act as king.
Yeah.
That'll be in the history books. The first thing he did was, right, first up, there's going to be a few changes. What sort of changes? Well, first up, I want to fucking get more involved in the soap scene.
I've got to big up the soaps a lot more than my mum did.
She never bothered. Oh, she didn't mind watching them. Don't worry about that. She loved to watch. But would she fucking help out? Right? Big them up to public? No, she just enjoyed them on her own.
7 o'clock every evening, right through till night. Actually, 6:30. She was in Hollyoaks in the end.
You could set your fucking watch by her when she sat down for a soap. She always called them my soaps, as if they belonged to it. Well, I suppose in a sense they did.
Half of them's fucking Australian, though. Well, I suppose the Commonwealth, technically, still hers.
She'd sometimes, don't tell anyone this, but she'd sometimes get on the blower to the writers and try to intervene in certain storylines.
Pitch some storylines.
Yeah. And let's just say some of them were easily intimidated, right? When they brought Dirty Den back, right, from the dead, guess who was behind that? That's right. My fucking old dear. It was unbelievable. I said, everyone saw he was shot by the canal. He's dead. It's 20 years later. You can't bring him back now. She said, anything's possible.
Bring him back. I loved him. Bring him back. And if you don't bring him back, it'll be treason.
She said, don't fucking tell me what's possible and not possible. They fucking brought Bobby Ewing back, didn't they?
I'm the fucking queen. I'm the nearest thing to a fucking magician this world's got. Make it happen.
I bring him back then. And she'd always say, which made me feel very uncomfortable, she'd always say he was very dishy. That was the word she'd use for Leslie Grantham. And my old man, he wouldn't care. He'd just laugh when she said that. But I thought, no, that's not on.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
I could tell he was unsettled by it. And 3 times she tried to give Leslie Grantham a knighthood, and he vetoed it. And he said it was because Grantham was a murderer. But really, it was because, he didn't want him coming around the palace.
He didn't want to. He tried to limit her exposure to Grantham. And she was always trying to find excuses, mind you. And she used to say, it would hardly be the first fucking murderer we gave a knighthood to. But he weren't buying that.
So this,
basically, in the end, as you'll know, Grantham ended up carking it in Bulgaria. Bit strange, that story, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Had some of the hallmarks of old Diana's death as well.
out of sight, out of mind, foreign country.
Yeah.
Quite near Christmas when
That-
no one was watching.
Oh, I died in a tunnel, did he? Same old MO. I looked at my old man that Christmas. I gave him a little wink. He knew what I was on about.
Yeah.
See, Grantham's gone the same way as our Diana.
I said, it was Christmas Day. I said, should we watch EastEnders? And he went there, nah, we're not bothering with that anymore.
No. Let's just watch Wait for Mrs. Brown Boys. Come on, a bit later. I like that.
Let's not spark off any memories. That year when Angie got that letter. She might do the same to me if she finds out what's happened.
That was one of your fucking mum's favourite ever episodes. She could not get over the fact that Ange had faked cancer. I remember her saying, she went, no, that's disgusting. No, that's not on. And he's very well within his rights to serve her papers, irrespective of his relationship with Jan.
He should have a shot. They weren't divorced.
If Philip ever lied to me about cancer, the things I'd get done to him.
I'd pack his fucking bags for him.
I've told him
Leave him
before,
at the front door.
there's nothing to stop me having him killed.
I'll say I've put your bags in your carriage. Now fuck off.
Now carriage the fuck out of here, you cunt. You lying cunt.
You lying cancer cunt.
There's one thing I cannot abide, it's cancer lies.
So these are the
Mate, just
these are the
quickly,
life
you just made me
logistics from
think.
the
I thought of
100-year-old
something there that we never.
What?
I think no one can ever knock our coverage of the Queen's death for its respect, its thoroughness,
It's depth.
I think, and I really think us more than any other outlet really tapped into the mood of the nation on that week. But one thing I didn't ever establish, I don't know if you know this or not, is how did the Queen die? I don't think they ever said it. They just said it like this: the Queen's dead. She's dead.
It was national causes, which is
National
like natural
cause.
causes.
Right,
Yeah, like natural causes, but for a monarch.
Right.
It's vague, but you don't need to ask any questions. She was 96. You know,
Yeah.
this sort of thing happens.
She's dead, and that's that.
It was on the news. At lunchtime, she's ill. She's very ill.
She's poorly.
Family's going to be with her, and then 6 o'clock it was she's gone.
To be honest with you, the spokesman came out and they said, "What is the latest on Her Majesty?" Well, you know, it's complicated and it's also ultimately very sad. What do you mean? What do you mean? John Poophouse from the Sun Death Watch Department. What do you mean it's complex and sad? Well, you know...
Release the records.
There's different ways you can put this, and there's always going to be different perspectives on a situation like this. Get to the fucking point. Well, how can I say it? Well, yeah, let me put it like this. She is dead. The Queen is dead.
There's no going
That's
back
it.
from that.
There's no coming
So
back.
there's no point asking questions, really, is
And
there?
we will not be taking questions at this time.
That's not going to bring her back to life.
That is one of my
Crying.
favourite ever scenes in anything, is Larry David's dad telling him that his mum has died. It is one of the funniest scenes in Curb Your Enthusiasm or anything, and it's always lived with me, right? Because I once accused Rod McDonald, like in front of my mum and my brothers, I said, if she dies before you, I can imagine you not bothering to fucking tell us, right? It'll be like Curb Your Enthusiasm, right? Because he just hasn't told him. And he's bottled out telling him. And it's been months since his mum died. And he keeps going, well, and he goes, where's mum? Why won't you tell me where mum is? He goes, well, you know, it's complicated, Larry. It's complicated, right? And he goes, what do you mean it's complicated? Where is she? Well, things happen and sometimes things don't happen and it can be said. What are you talking about? And then he goes, well, one thing led to another and, well, she's dead. She died. It takes ages to say it. And he goes, when? And he goes, it's a few months back. I didn't want to tell you. You're always so busy. I didn't want to worry you. Fucking brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Oh, God. Yeah. I mean, I don't know Rod, but I could imagine that happening.
No, because Rod would be more like, Rod's whole thing is, this is what Rod's attitude is to things as well. Well, first of all, it would mainly be a power play. It would be like, yeah, she's dead, but you cunts don't need to know that. I've got the power now because I'm the only one with the knowledge that she is dead, right? So first of all, it'd be first and forward about the way he'd dress his power play up would be like this. Well, I know you boys are busy and I didn't want to bother you with it, but she did die. And in a way, we all die, don't we? So there's no point in anyone getting upset about it because this is the way the world works. We die and our bodies decay and eventually they enrich the soil. And from that soil, more life grows. And so the beautiful circle continues. And you go, shut your fucking mouth, you Rumpelstiltskin cunt. Just tell me, when did this happen? Oh, several months ago. So what about the fucking funeral? Well, I didn't want to bother you. I know you're all so busy. So I just had her thrown in.
Funeral.
We had a simple funeral and we had her lowered into the canal.
The canal casket.
The bit of the canal that goes through Brentford because she loved Brentford so much. Shut up! No one loves Brentford, you fucking idiot. What'd you lower into the fucking canal in a bin bag in fucking Brentford for? Without even telling us. Anyway, when I do this whole routine, my mum cries with laughter, even though it's all based around her own death. And he just looks really confused.
That's good though, because it's like whenever someone dies and you see all the plaudits for them on Twitter and places like that and all of the tributes, and you just think, oh, if only people had told them that when they were alive and they knew how much they were loved. It's kind of a bit like that, what you're doing there.
Well, I'm sort of saying, yeah, I'm not like saying mum's a wonderful person, but I am. What I'm basically saying to my mum is, mum, if you died and Rod didn't tell me, I would be pissed off about that. Which to her is touching. It's a touching sentiment.
Yeah. And then, of course, you've got to think about breaking the news to your dad as well. And he'll just be like, wow, there it is.
Well,
or something similar.
Have I ever told you about when my mum got cancer about, it's about like 15 years ago now, right? And it was a really worrying, stressful time for us all. And I was and back then, I suppose if you hear someone's got cancer, I was naive, I suppose. And I was like, you basically, when someone says I've got cancer, I interpreted that as being, I'm going to die soon, probably next week. Bye, ta-da, like that, right? And obviously that's not the whole story, but that's how I reacted. And it was very like stressful time for us all. And anyway, blah, blah, blah. She had an operation. They got it out and all's well that ends well. And on the way back from the hospital, I sort of had this sense of on the day that she'd sort of more or less had the all clear. I mean, you don't really have the all clear for 5 years, but, you know, when they said, right, we think we've got it, I was buzzing off my nut. I got this strange sense of euphoria because I've been so tightly wound for like about 2 months. Like every day I was like just really tightly wound. Like I couldn't ever relax because it was always in the back of my mind. And suddenly, if you've had that amount of tension for a long time and it goes, suddenly it's like you're fucking floating on air, right? Everyone's had that experience when you've had a really bad worry. And then when the worry is taken away, you sometimes almost think, Andy, it was worth the worry. For the feeling of ecstasy you get at the end. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
I think everyone's had that. I mean, I'm talking about an extreme thing like cancer, but I think I've had it loads of times about small things. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, you had a fucking exam to do or something. You do the exam, you leave the exam, you feel fucking brilliant, and you think it's almost worth the stress for the buzz I'm getting for it to be over.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Anyway, I was walking along, and as I was buzzing, I thought I wanted to talk to someone about it. So I thought, I bet no one's thought to call my dad because, you know, you call round your siblings and whatnot, and even probably a couple of my mum's mates, you know, like Jackie and Peggy and all the other lads.
All them lot, yeah.
Lily from next door, May from the other side next door, right? Yeah. You got to tell them.
Especially,
and don't forget Terry and Stacey, right? They'll want to know.
Yeah.
Because they'll be thinking, well, are we still going to have to look after the cat when she goes to the Isle of Wight? Or is she dead? And then what? Then what are we expected to do? Kill the cat? Yeah. We're going to have to kill it because we don't want to take it on full time. Terry's standing there with a mallet ready to kill her cat any minute, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so everyone gets told. I thought no one's thought to tell my dad. And he was basically as you described. Despite the fact you haven't met him, you know him inside out. He was like, right. I said, great news. Mum, the operation went well and they got rid of the cancer. Right. Well, I'm so happy. Are you? Yeah, of course I am. Why? Well, because my mum doesn't have cancer anymore. Well, what were you worried about? I said, what was I worried about? I was worried that she was going to die, right? And he went, well, I have to tell you, she is going to die. And so am I going to die.
Just not yet.
And both her and I will almost definitely die before you, and you'll have to cope with that. So,
And do you not think that all that worrying you've been doing, that was a bit weak?
yeah.
Really, wasn't it?
He goes, why would you waste your time? It's illogical. That's his thing. Irrational. He goes, it's very irrational to worry about that because, first of all, there's nothing you can do about it. So what's the point? And second of all, yeah, all right, she's not died now, but you're only kicking the can down the road. She'll die at some point. And it was the way he went, and so will I. And when he said, and so will I, he said that with relish. I'll die as well, you cunt. How are you going to fucking deal with that? Probably pathetically. I was like, oh, thanks for that. I was fucking feeling great. You brought me back down to earth. And he went, good. He was glad he had. He was annoyed that I was so happy.
You don't want to spend any time wasting your energy being sad when it happens.
Yeah.
Just
pathetic.
get on with it.
It's pathetic, it's irrational, and it's actually a sort of really a horrible and depressing sign of fundamentally a lack of intelligence. By worrying about your mother having cancer, you have revealed yourself to be just as stupid as I always suspected.
It's just the same as that thing where you do when you pull the legs off a spider. You don't feel anything when you do that. You don't feel anything for the spider. You just do it because it has to be done.
You observe it, and you think now that spider is less mobile, and so my life will become more efficient because I will not have to worry about a spider scuttling around my home and interfering in my business.
It's something we call the limbless spider effect, and it spreads out across the world.
It's no different
spider.
if you clip a fox in your car on the way home, and the fox is in. It appears to be lame and in considerable pain, and you take the jack from the back of your car that you would use when changing a tyre, and you bash the fox's brains out there on the roadside.
Repeatedly.
You smash it, to be sure, even once its brains have spilled out, you continue to smash at the empty shards of skull. And that is perfectly normal. It's a rational way to behave, and it's a sensible way to behave. And crucially, you feel nothing whilst doing it, other than a mild sense of satisfaction and arousal.
And if you want, you can offer up some kind of prayer to God or whatever God you believe in, if indeed you are weak enough to believe in some kind of higher deity.
Which wouldn't at all be surprised that you do. It's exactly the sort of shit you'd come out with. His worst thing of all the things that my dad dislikes and is cynical about, his worst thing is God. Like, honestly. Yeah, he fucking loves Richard Dawkins. He thinks he's like his God. He hates God. So, mind you, he was raised by priests, so it's probably, I don't know. I always think maybe he got nonced up a bit and that's his problem with it. I don't know. I've asked him, but he just goes like this, oh, please. Like that. He just thinks, he goes, yeah, typical juvenile question. Right? It's not juvenile. I'm just saying, did the priest ever pop his finger up your ass? That's actually quite relevant. Because if that's unaddressed trauma, I could have inherited that. And he'll just roll his eyes and go, oh, really? Could you?
If that would have happened, and it didn't, but if it would have, I'd have forgotten about it by now.
Yeah, honestly, that sounds exactly like him. I'd have forgotten about But honestly, I reckon those priests might have a lot to fucking answer for. I'll ask him again later. I'll send him a WhatsApp.
Oh, that'd be nice. If you would.
I'll send him a WhatsApp.
Yeah, see if you can get him to send it back as a voice message. Put it on here.
I need some clarity on this. You've never fully answered this. Did the priest nonce you or not?
Oh God. Shall we go through these list of things about to live? I mean, this does kind of read as if it could be by King Charles the way it's set out, but it's not. It's by a 100-year-old man. There is no secret to living for a century. It's mainly good luck. Like that. I believe these things below help. 1, don't be greedy over food. Keep your weight down. Use small plates and no second helpings. Do not get fat. Science tells us hungry rats live longest. That feels incredibly King Charles.
Yeah, but I'm not happy about any of that.
Plates.
I'm not happy about any of that.
You don't like that?
Not really.
Well, I mean, I kind of think eat whatever you want within reason.
Yeah, within reason. Don't be like crazy.
Don't be a glutton.
I mean, what I do is if I know I've eaten a lot over the weekend, like I did this weekend, right? I then think, well, I'm going to really be like extra sensible in the week. You've got to balance shit out. That said, do you know I told you I made a cream cake this weekend? There was some cream left. And do you remember I told you I hadn't refrigerated
bonus
it?
Cream.
So it didn't it didn't solidify sufficiently, right?
Yeah.
Well, the leftover cream did, because I left it in a small pot in the fridge overnight.
Right.
This morning,
Cream pot.
I hope you're ready for this, mate. And I am proud of it, but at the same time, I'm a bit embarrassed to open up about it. But the cream pot was in the fridge, and we had porridge for breakfast. And I spooned some of the cream onto my porridge and mixed it in.
No, that's fine. I was expecting just that you had the cream raw straight from the pot.
Well, obviously I was tempted to do that, but I can tell you, I don't want it to become a habit, but me and Len both did it. I said, look, mate, stick a fucking spoonful of that in your porridge. You'll thank your dad later.
Pep me up. Yeah,
hey,
I'll see you through the day.
Listen to your old dad.
There's a little rhyme I like to say. If your fridge has a cream pot, eat it up, then it will not.
You will like it quite a lot. And we did, and we were fucking buzzing off it, mate. It was revelatory, because porridge in the morning is good, and it's good for you, and it lowers your cholesterol and blah blah blah. But sometimes it's a bit fucking boring unless you add something sexy to it. And what could be sexier than a load of cream?
I want to call this episode Cream High. You can't beat a cream high.
Come on.
Jalapeño. Jalapeño.
I feel guilty because I dropped the kid off at where his bus to school goes, and then I had to go to Sainsbury's, and I bought myself a couple of croissants for my breakfast.
Oh, lovely.
And I feel that's an indulgence.
You feel dead continental now, don't you?
Oh, completely. Do them in the air fryer as well. 4 minutes in the air fryer, mate.
So they got
and
crispy,
some
did
butter
they?
in and some strawberry jam.
Oh, yeah. Lovely. Lovely stuff.
There we go. We could do some cream next time. That'd be good. What's the next thing?
Take a statin and ideally keep your cholesterol out.
Well, ideally keep your cholesterol out.
We're going to be struggling to keep our cholesterol below 3 with all this cream chat, aren't we?
Yeah, just a bit. And how are you going to get statins? Can you get them on the black market? Because you're getting prescribed, haven't you? You can't just buy statins.
Yeah, but they
counter.
Dish them out like fucking Smarties, mate. You just
like
rock up at our age. If you rock up at the fucking GPs and say, give us a statin prescription, they'll just do it.
Cough. Yeah.
Well, they just want to. They think it reduces overall, like they haven't got enough room in the Aussies. So, and one of the most common thing in the Aussies that's taking up space is like men of our age and above who just have got fucking really bad.
Gone to shit.
Our hearts are just fucked because we've just been eating chips and cream and smoking fags our whole lives, right?
Croissants.
And they're just like, fucking hell, every fucking hospital bed's filled up with some cunt whose veins is full of fucking croissants. So the first chance they get to give you a statin, they'll give it because it'll just like reduce the numbers of us in the hospital. Yeah. So no problem there.
Fuck off.
It's the same with antidepressants, and I'm not here to endorse antidepressants or decry them either. Depends on the case. But there's about 3 therapists working for the NHS, right? And there's about
3.
and due
North, South, Midlands.
Yeah, that's it. So and because of, let's be real here, the Tories and 13 years of austerity, there is an enormous fucking mental health crisis in this country, and there is no one to treat it because they don't believe in investing in mental health treatment. So, and the reason they don't, same deal with statins and your heart. They dish out the old antidepressants. As soon as you go in there, you only have to say, I'm feeling a bit tired. And they go, have these and fuck off. 2 a day. That'll sort you right out. And it does.
They're pink. Pink equals fun.
Yeah, have these fun pills. I'm gonna write you up.
Just looking at them will cheer you up a bit.
Stop right there. I can see where this is going. I am writing you a prescription for 1,000 fun pills. Take that up the chemist now and try not to come back and bother me ever again. Next. Ding, ding.
It might take a while to kick in, so give them at least 8 months. But
Is this my only option, Doctor? Well, No,
Yes.
you could see a therapist. I can put you on the waiting list, but are you planning on living for another 80 years? Because that's when the cunt's going to get round to seeing you. So, yeah. Statins,
yeah.
antidepressants. There's certain things they'll just give you to, like,
Yeah.
get you out of their way.
Yeah. And then he says, do not smoke, nor take drugs or drink alcohol. Well, you know, fair enough.
I guess. I mean, it depends what they mean by drugs. I think alcohol, you know, it is strongly linked to all sorts of illnesses. I mean, it's as bad.
Yeah.
It is as bad as fags. It's just that they haven't.
It is.
It's as bad
Yeah.
in terms of your health risk. I wouldn't say all drugs are, though. I'm not
No.
endorsing taking
No,
drugs.
it's
I
just-
don't take them, but I don't think you can equate necessarily taking ecstasy.
Cannabis?
I think cannabis is really bad. It's the most underrated drug you can get. Sends you fucking mental. But I
It's
think
the most underrated drug. Or
like
overrated.
what I mean is underrated in terms of its damage. I think it's a very dangerous drug
Right, yeah.
that is presented to kids and society as like your entry level drug. But in fact, especially skunk, it just sends people fucking round the twist and they stop feeling anything and they don't get anything done. So it has a huge knock-on effect on society as well because there's just a lot of people who aren't fucking getting their shit together and it stops you feeling. I saw a great TikTok video over the weekend of this impassioned woman doing a message to all rappers and the hip hop industry to stop smoking weed and start taking coke again. Because she said, the thing is, she went, hip hop's got really dull since everyone started smoking loads of weed again because they can't rap as well and weed takes away your feeling.
To rap.
Well, you know, people used to, when I was young, weed was presented as this drug that made you much more kind of in touch with your emotions because it'd be presented as something, the drug of John Lennon or Bob Marley and these hugely artistic, sensitive people who wrote great lyrics. But in fact, it does the opposite. It fucking kills your feeling. That's why people take it, because they take it to like just fucking check out of feeling anything, right? It just numbs you out. So actually, it'll kill your creativity. It kills your energy. And her point in this thing was she goes, get back on the coke, because then you get people who are they're rapping really well, really fast, and they're thinking a million thoughts a minute, and they're feeling a million feelings a minute, and that's all coming out on the page, right? To be clear, I don't endorse cocaine or marijuana. They'll both wreck your life, but in very different ways. And I would say that cocaine at least is like doing it more... I've got more respect for it because it does it more openly. Like, you take a bit of cocaine, immediately you can see how your life is being ruined, right? But you can't stop.
Yeah.
Weed, I don't like this whole kind of, it's just a spliff, man. No, it's really bad. But, you know, ecstasy, another drug I no longer take, but you can't say that's as bad as booze or fags.
But doesn't repeated ecstasy use drain all of the happiness out of your mind? You've only got a finite amount of happiness.
I don't know about that. Maybe. I mean, it is true that you have a come down, you feel really awful because it's drained all your... But anyway, yeah, I mean, steer clear of all of it. But I'm just querying. I'm being a bit of a Lampard cunt about all of this guy's tips. Why? I don't know.
No, I mean, it's fair enough. It felt like it was from the mind of King Charles, which I really enjoyed because it ties in with that theory I've got that he's a great king.
He's a great king.
It was a bit boring.
He's a great king.
But anyway, next one. Avoid anything to do with cows, like beef, butter, cream, etc. Fuck that.
Fuck off. No way.
Next. Have a job with a lot of standing up. Ideally, be a bus conductor and not a bus driver. If you must write a book, do it standing up, not sitting down at a desk.
If you
That feels
must
a bit
write
like your
a
dad.
book.
Yeah. If you must write a book.
If you must write
Sam,
a book, and trust me, I think everyone would rather you didn't. But if you must, please try to do it stood on your feet like a man and not sat on your ass like a girl.
like a girl at the bingo.
This podcast that you claim to do. This podcast that you claim to do, I presume you do that sitting on your ass as well, do you?
Got one of those swivel chairs, have you?
Like one of those women I used to see in the minicab rank. Car 2, POB. Come in, number 3. Pathetic.
Or like the receptionist at the doctor's that I very rarely go to anyway because I'm very fit and well. But when I do, I just ignore them. I just say my name
And I walk
then I go sit
directly
down.
into the doctor's office. And if there's another patient in there being examined, I instruct them to leave immediately. Pull up your trousers and go. Don't worry about that. I've seen it all before and a lot more.
I just stride into the doctor's office at my allotted time and commence the consultation.
Good day. Now look at this. Plop.
Not that I hardly ever go to the doctors because I'm fine.
Because illness is a sign of lack of intellect.
Intellectual weakness.
Yeah. And insecurity.
Yeah, exactly. Avoid unnecessary risks like boxing, heading footballs, and falling off horses. I always get silly now.
Yeah.
But I could really see that coming from King Charles. I'm so gutted that it's not him. And then finally, do not be poor and avoid being very rich.
How can being very rich be bad for your health? I suppose it can be bad for your mental health, can't it? For sure.
I suppose it could be. It could be. But I mean, I would always imagine that having money is better than not having money.
Yeah, you got.
Every
Well, I think the
circumstance.
statistics would definitely suggest that the very rich
Yeah.
live longer overall than the poor.
Absolutely.
So I don't know what he's getting
So
at there.
that's that. We've got some that have come in on the Twitter this morning, which I think we should probably address very quickly. This is Dobry Dan, who I believe is in Prague. I am a single childless man with disposable income, no impulse control, and a nearby Lidl with a hell of a middle aisle. How do I stop myself buying daft and or pointless shit?
Oh, well, I
fuck's
don't
sake, I
feel
booked-
qualified to answer this.
He says, I booked a weekend in Budapest the other day while on the bog.
Yeah.
This is that's great.
It's not that
Budapest thing,
bad.
absolutely bang up for
It's
that.
not that bad. It's like when I spontaneously bought the old, self-esteem tickets. It's quite good to do that a bit, but you do need to have limits, don't you, Andy?
But if you, like you say, he's a childless man, no disposable income, book a weekend in Budapest. Why not? Travel
Yeah.
broadens the mind. What else are you going to do? Just sit indoors?
I would love
you
to
can do that, if you can
if I
afford
could
it,
afford
do
it, I'd be travelling all the. If I afford it and hadn't accidentally bought a fucking puppy that goes mental if you even leave the room for 30 seconds,
Yeah.
right?
I did warn you, Sam. I did warn you.
Fuck me.
But-
The chance of me going away anywhere, that's just dead
Never.
forever. They're just not allowed to go away. Especially if my wife leaves the room, she just goes mental at the door until
my
she comes
God.
back. It's like, fucking
Jesus
chill out,
Christ.
mate. She's only upstairs having a piss. Work
Yeah.
it out.
Yeah. You have to start going with her.
No, I
Sitting in the
found a dog carer nearby. I'm going to take her around there. It'll be good for her because she'll meet other dogs, which she's always desperate to
Yeah.
do. You know.
Yeah, totally. Good stuff. So, I mean, the little middle aisle thing. Yeah.
What's in the middle aisle, mate?
It's the stuff where they've just got all random shit that's on special offer.
Oh right.
And it changes every week. And it's very tempting. I've bought things from there before. I've bought like sweatshirts, drills,
Drill's a classic
baking
one.
trays, just anything.
Blokes
Anything
will
you think you
always
need.
buy discount drills if they get an opportunity.
Of course they
Especially
do.
men like
Things-
us who aren't men of work but feel
Yeah.
like we need a drill, but we don't know enough about drills to sort of ever go and invest a huge sum. Like we are the bang on target. If there's a drill and it seems impossibly cheap, it's men like us who will be buying that drill. And then after
And
a
of
few
course-
years, you see in your cupboard under the stairs or your cupboard in the garden, you have quite a number of quite cheap drills. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just a few weeks ago, I've developed an occasional pain in my right shoulder.
Right.
So I was in Lidl a few weeks ago. They had one of those vibrating shoulder strap things.
Oh,
That's
lovely.
meant to be good for that. $24.99. Yep, that's now sitting in a drawer, unopened.
Have you not
fully
used it
boxed,
once?
Unused. Nah, not yet.
Yeah.
You got to put it on. You got to like take your t-shirt off and everything. I just thought
I got my missus a massage gun for Christmas, and it actually is really
you said,
nice.
yeah.
That's nice.
that's the kind of thing you need.
Yeah. If you buy those cheap drills as well, the other thing that always happens is it turns out that it's some brand that's either from like Latvia or
Yeah.
like Taiwan, and so
Budapest.
So the drill bits are not standard, right?
Not EU.
They're weird. Yeah, no, because like they're hexagonal usually, aren't they, or round, and they fit into any drill. But this one is like, no, this Russian drill must only
Triangular.
have triangular bit. Well, where do they sell them in home base? No, my friend, no home base. You must send off. You must send off to Russia. They come eventually. You have faith.
Only available in particular northeastern province of Russia.
Yeah. It takes
With
long
no
time.
postal system.
They make to order. You must write to them by mail. No email there. They no have.
Another one, Mike Goodall. Me and the boy are doing a stint on the veggie line for Lent and that. I'm not sure what that means. I think it means he's gone vegetarian for a bit. Could do with some ideas. Nifty. So that's aimed at you. Vegetarian? Recommendations?
Well, I make a lot of curry using things like paneer and chickpeas and lentil and vegetables. That's really good if you get really into that. Get a good book on
Do you
it.
put any fake meat in? Are you into the fake meat stuff at all?
Sometimes, not in a curry. In curry, I'd use paneer, chickpea, things like that.
Right.
But I've made... you can get some nice fake mince, like Quorn mince, and you do that with like a really rich bolognese sauce. And you can either have that with pasta or put it in a fucking lasagna. Lasagna is a great veggie option. You can either make it like that with fake meat, or you can just do it like spinach, ricotta cheese, all sorts. So that's a good one.
The word is that the Richmond veggie sausages are good, or even
Very
vegan
good,
sausages,
very good. They're really. I'm a big fan of those. They're very salty, which always gets my vote.
Nice one. I mean, my daughter's vegan, and sometimes I go out and eat vegan with her in restaurants and stuff. I've had some nice vegan mince chili tacos recently.
Yeah.
I've had some great vegan burgers.
Yeah.
Which ones does she get? She gets the Quorn chicken burgers. I think they're Southern Fried Chicken burgers.
That's nice. Quorn is generally good. And here's a tip. The best thing you can get when you're out and about, the most incredible veggie burger, and I've had them all, right? The most incredible...
I've had them all,
I've had the lot over the years. Honest Burger, which is a chain, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's nationwide. There's a bunch of them in London. They do a veggie burger that is absolutely fucking unreal. And me and Len actually have a tradition now that when it's the last day of school holidays... Right, a big holiday, not half term, but like the end of summer holidays, right?
Christmas, Easter, summer, the big three.
Yeah, the big three. Last day before he goes back, 'cause you're always miserable. We go and have a fucking honest burger and chips, right? Because it is the best available vegetarian food available on the British High Street. It's unreal.
Do they do them in the supermarkets as well? The honest burgers.
Maybe, but if they do, great. And you can get similar ones, but the one that they actually serve up to you in Honest Burger is just unbelievable. And the thing is, it is actually quite like meat. And some vegetarians are like, well, I don't want things that are like meat. That's why I gave up meat. But sometimes I do want something that's like meat.
Sometimes the taste of meat is all you need.
Yeah,
of course.
The taste and texture of meat is nice.
Like the Heineken Zero.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing.
Booze.
I don't have to go, oh, well, I don't like it. It's like, it's a nice taste. It's a nice taste, but none of the bad side effects. So I'm there for it.
Wonderful. And I've always thought as well, if in doubt, just whack loads of sweet chili sauce on, and it'll all be all right.
Yeah, that's true.
There we go. That's about it then from Life Logistics for now. We'll try and do another one next week.
I enjoyed
this.
I enjoy it. Yeah.
I've done these.
Maybe I'll try and get my dad to do a guest appearance on the next Life Logistics. See how he reacts to some of these questions. He'll be like this. How old are these people that listen to your podcast?
Have you made these up? Are these from real people?
By the way, did you hear Life Goals with the wonderful commentress? Robin Cowan, right?
I did, yeah.
And
I'll especially listen because we were mentioned.
Yeah, that's the only reason we listened, of course. And we knew that we were going to be mentioned because if you're unfamiliar with my brother's podcast, Life Goals, you choose 8 most memorable goals of your life that you've seen, and you can pick a track to go with them. And we knew that we were going to be on it because Robin Cowan, the country's best commentress,
easily
has she requested the theme tune to Top Flight Time Machine. Amazing, right?
Yeah.
So it was a great episode. She's wonderful. Obviously, I didn't even fast forward, Andy, to the bit about us. I did listen to the whole thing and enjoyed it. Right?
Good.
But did you notice the bit where she was going, yeah, it's really good, Top Flight Time Machine, and Theo was like, yeah, it's good, yeah. Come on, let's move on.
Yeah, whatever.
Right? And then you get on to the next thing, and the next song she chose, right, was the theme tune to something. It was either Peppa Pig or Thomas the Tank Engine, right? And it was in reference to, most people choose pop songs, but she was choosing songs that kind of narrate her life, which is why she chose Top Flight Time Machine. And then she chose this theme tune to a kid's show, I think Peppa Pig, because that's what her kid watches all the time and she likes watching it with her. And he went, and now on to your second idiosyncratic choice of music, another theme tune, arguably slightly less infantile than your previous choice.
Whoa. Shots fired, as they say.
Infantile, is it? It was like he couldn't take the amount of praise that was being dished out to my podcast on his podcast.
Yeah.
But he had to fucking take it, and then he waited. And that's what all the best people do, Andy. They wait. Yeah. He waited, and then he just slipped that in, didn't he?
I would say revenge is a dish best served cold, but in this case it was only a couple of minutes later.
It was hot.
The dish was just lukewarm at best.
Yeah, it was it was fresh. He waited. He bided his time like a sniper, right? And then he was like, "Yeah, it's fun." You think that we've moved on from Top Flight Time Machine, but I haven't. I've got it stored up here, and I'm lining up a fucking zinger. So get ready.
If he wants to send over his listener figure numbers, I'd be quite happy to have a look at them, see how they stack up against ours.
Yeah, well, if it's fucking infantile, mate, then that's obviously we've got a lot of kids out there tuning in, haven't we?
Also, Peppa Pig fans.
Also,
right.
I would point out that his podcast is literally grown-ups talking about a child's game. So, think on.
Right, that's it. We'll be back with more logistics next week. Get in touch on the Twitter or at topflighttimemachine@gmail.com if it's, personal or you want to be anonymous or whatever. And we'll do some more life logistics next time. Thank you very much and goodbye.
Goodbye.